The best facial cleansers of 2023. Well, hey guys, welcome back. Yet another video in my best of 2023 series. You guys really seem to be enjoying these videos. This year, I tried out several cleansers that came out and were released this year. And these are the top 5 that I think are really noteworthy, that stand out to me, and that I will continue to recommend for years to come, provided they don't change the formula, which can and does happen. They either change the formulas or they discontinue things. Comment below, is there a skincare product that you love that was discontinued this year? Lament in the comments, let us know. I hate it when that happens, but we have some new and exciting ones. The first one is new this year, I believe, as well as new to me, and it comes from RoC. Now, RoC is most well known for their retinols. They have a ton of retinol products, right? Eye creams, neck creams, you name it, they've got a ton of anti-aging. I mean, they are an anti-aging skincare line. But they came out with this Barrier Renew line, which makes a lot of sense. You know, if you're gonna have retinols, some people get a lot of dryness and irritation, or they choose products that aggravate some of the side effects of retinol. So they want a basic routine, no-nonsense routine to complement the retinol. Cleansing is where, you know, you kind of have to be careful. If it's too harsh, it can really aggravate your skin, but you do need to be cleansing to remove dirt, oil, and impurities and makeup that could otherwise aggravate your skin if left on there. This new RoC Barrier Renew Gel to Foam Cleanser, they actually sent this to me and I used it. It took me pretty much the whole year to make it through, and I really love the texture of it. Just as it claims, it comes out as a gel, which you guys know me, I enjoy a gel cleanser. It's just, you know, the feel of it, the texture, I really like gels. And then it works up into a very gentle foam. It has ceramides in it, which are lipids found in skin's outermost layer. And when we cleanse, you know, that can aggravate dryness, disrupt the skin barrier. So having ceramides in the cleanser, you know, depositing the ceramides behind may help offset those issues with the barrier, helping to reduce dry skin. It also has squalane, an emollient that can soften and smooth the skin. And it has tea extract, which may deliver antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds. And it has beta-cytosterol, a lipid that is good for reducing issues around dry skin. This cleanser I used a lot as a second step in my double cleanse routine. I didn't use it too much on its own in an effort to remove sunscreen, makeup, so I can't really speak to its efficacy in that regard. I do find that most cleansers out there, they do, you know, end up struggling in the realm of taking off mascara. Not always, but I do find that to be the case, and that's why I use some sort of eye makeup removal thing, either with a cleansing oil or cleansing balm first. Anyway, I digress. Really like this, very mild, very gentle. It's actually very competitive up against many of the well-loved CeraVe cleansers, which likewise have ceramides, like the CeraVe foaming face wash. I actually think this is a little bit better. It's milder, it's not as foamy, and it has a nicer texture to it, if I'm being honest. I really, really like it a lot, and I think they did a great job, especially since they're not really a brand that has, you know, is coming out with cleansers all the time. This is, you know, one that is a really nice complement to their portfolio. Highly suggest checking it out. It's a type of cleanser that it's great for all skin types. It's not so harsh that if you have dry, irritated skin, it's going to aggravate it, but it does a good job removing excess sebum from the skin surface. So people who have oily to combination skin, it's going to meet your needs as well. And because it is mild and gentle, it is good to use around the eyes. You know, some cleansers, I'll point out some in today's video, they have ingredients in them which actually can end up drying out the eyelids a bit. I've encountered that a lot with certain cleansers. This is not that way. You can comfortably use it to wash around your eyes, provided you rinse all the cleanser off. Of course, it's a great option in that regard. Now, I just mentioned CeraVe, but number 2, CeraVe came out with a new cleanser this year, and they have a lot of good cleansers already, so I'm a little bit more critical of them because it's like, okay, this really has to bring something new and innovative, and they actually did, okay? The Hydrating Foaming Oil Cleanser, I discovered this cleanser, and You know, I think they're a little generous with the term oil because when you pump it out into your hand, it just feels kind of like any basic cleanser. It's not oily in consistency. It doesn't feel oily going on the skin, but it does work up into a nice gentle foam. It of course has the 3 essential ceramides, which again, you know, it's nice to have those in there as ingredients that deposit on the skin and may offset some of the dryness that you can encounter with cleansing. It also has sodium hyaluronate, a humectant that can deposit behind and help improve moisture retention, helping to further counteract the dryness. While I don't really find that this has an oily texture to it, I will say it does to a certain extent behave like a combination of a cleansing oil and a gentle cleanser all wrapped into one. So instead of a double cleanse, it kind of bridges a gap between the two and does a good job by itself removing water resistant sunscreen. Like my test here is tinted water resistant sunscreen, because I have found that certain cleansers, it seems like they're taking off the sunscreen, but then in the case of the tinted, once I get out of the shower, okay, I wash my face in the shower. Once I get out of the shower, you know, put like a cotton pad to my face, there is still tint coming off. That was not the case with this. So it passed the tinted water resistant test. It also does a good job removing cosmetics. Never got any like raccoon eye residue left behind. So if you're someone especially who doesn't really use a lot of makeup, but you do wear water resistant sunscreen, you might find that this is all you need. You don't necessarily need an oil cleanser or cleansing balm. And I've said this before, doing the double cleanse, it is not mandatory, it is not necessary. I just find that for me, with makeup and sunscreen, it's just a lot. It works for me better than a cleanser alone, but you know, it varies from person to person depending on what you're using. So it's not a must have. And this product, you know, it kind of very nicely bridges the gap between a cleansing oil and a gentle cleanser all in one formula. It's free of fragrance. And another thing I really like about this cleanser is it makes a great hand wash. You know, this time of year in particular, we're all washing our hands even more than we already do to cut down on transmission of colds and flus. The skin on our hands can really suffer as a consequence. Recently, I did a video for you guys on healthy skincare habits to start in the new year. And one of them, if you'll recall back from that video, is make sure after you wash your hands, you rinse off the cleanser, apply a moisturizer to offset the drying effects that come around with hand washing to, you know, reduce the risk of getting an irritant hand dermatitis. But you know, the other tip too is you don't necessarily have to use an antibacterial harsh soap. Antibacterial soaps in and of themselves are a problematic category for reasons I explained in my video on stop buying these. So check that out if you want to know more about why I caution against the use of antibacterial hand soaps. But at the end of the day, when it comes to good hand hygiene, it's really more about the amount of time you spend rubbing the hands together and making sure you get all surfaces, not so much the ingredients of the hand soap, hand wash you are using. And I find oftentimes that a facial cleanser is a lot milder and easier on the skin barrier. Okay, number 3 is for those of you who have acne-prone skin, get acne breakouts, and or your acne heals with a dark mark or a red mark. Alternatively, this next cleanser that I'm going to talk about is also a good option if you have rough and bumpy skin on the cheeks, keratosis pilaris, or you just have rough, dry skin texture. It is a acid cleanser, meaning it has ingredients in it that are acids meant to do certain things. This is the Neutrogena Stubborn Texture Cleanser. This whole stubborn line is meant for people who have acne-prone skin, and it is excellent. It is excellent. This cleanser represents an improvement upon some of their older acne cleanser formulations. It has 1% salicylic acid, which is an ingredient that exfoliates the pore, is an FDA-approved over-the-counter acne treatment for helping to cut down on breakouts and clear existing breakouts. In addition to that, it has 2% glycolic acid, which can exfoliate, you know, rather than focusing in on the pore, it kind of gently exfoliates the top outermost layer of the skin, giving the skin a smoother texture. Again, that's going to be good for those of you who have keratosis pilaris, rough and bumpy skin, but also just by smoothing out the skin surface, it can, to a certain extent, cut down on comedone formation as well, which is part of acne. And it has 2% polyhydroxy acid in the form of gluconolactone. Now, polyhydroxy acid, it's super, super, super mild in terms of its exfoliating, but it also, along with the glycolic acid, actually, both of these ingredients, they help improve moisture retention in skin's outermost layer, and that ultimately helps naturally improve exfoliation. When you have better water content in the stratum corneum, when you don't have dry skin, basically, then the skin can naturally exfoliate much more efficiently because the enzymes and things in skin's outermost layer, they require water to function. So when your skin becomes dry, the stratum corneum becomes dehydrated as a result of losing water, as part of the dry skin, then all that slows down. That's why you get a buildup of rough skin texture, and it can actually, aggravate acne and pore clogging. This formula is free of fragrance, woohoo, because a lot of the Neutrogena acne cleansers, they do have a strong fragrance, which, is not everyone's preference, myself included. A word of warning about this, and it's not specific to this Neutrogena one, any salicylic acid, glycolic acid cleanser that you might choose, you can run into this issue. I run into it a fair amount myself when I use these, is that they can end up making your eyelids dry because they're exfoliating, and eyelid skin is very delicate. They also may make your lips a little bit chapped and dry. So just be careful in that regard that you're not using these like to wash your eyelid area, to remove makeup. A lot of people do and have no issue. So if you're doing that and you're not having any problems, by all means, it's not as though this is necessarily directly harmful in those areas, but it can dry them out a bit. All that to say, overall, this particular cleanser is not drying. It's pretty moisturizing, and it's a great option for people who have acne-prone skin, especially if you have sensitive acne-prone skin, which a lot of people do. The ingredients in this not only are helpful for the acne breakouts themselves, but salicylic acid is a beneficial ingredient to incorporate into your skincare routine if you are seeking to fade post-acne hyperpigmentation. It's called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You may have it from acne, but you may have it from other things that were inflammatory in your skin and healed with a dark mark. Depending on where that pigment is located, using an exfoliant or an exfoliating cleanser such as this can help hasten the clearance of that pigment, helping to lighten those dark spots. I really like this, and like I said, it's been a great addition to their acne portfolio. They also have a body wash that, I would also recommend if you get breakouts on the body that is similar in terms of ingredients, a really good option. Okay, number 4 is for those of you who have very sensitive, dry, irritated skin, and you are maybe even doing what's called a skincare reset. I have a video on that as a side note. Basically, a skincare reset is where you really just reset your routine to pare it down to the bare bones essentials of a very mild cleanser, a very bland, mild, fragrance-free moisturizer, and of course sunscreen. Basically what you're doing is you're trying to cut out any noise to help resolve any skin barrier disruption, irritation, skin problems, reactions that may have arisen as a result of using too many products or may be aggravated by certain products or certain ingredients. So this next cleanser is a great one to consider because it is so mild and it's also very nourishing. In my experience, I like it because it's very pleasurable to use. It has this nice slippery, soothing texture, which I rather enjoy. It's the Isntree Yam Root Vegan Cleanser, free of fragrance. It has a yam root extract in it, which root extracts are rich in hydrating compounds. They are rich in anti-inflammatory compounds, and they just have they impart a very nice texture to skincare products, whether it be a cleanser, a serum, or a moisturizer. Just really, almost have this very soothing feel to them. This has rice extract, which has anti-inflammatory compounds, peptides that may help with moisture retention, and it has oat milk extract. Now, oats, wonderful for the skin, okay? Hydrating, rich in anti-inflammatory compounds called avenanthramides, which can help with recovery of the skin barrier. Oats can also help create this hydrating film on the skin that really helps facilitate barrier recovery. Not a whole lot going on in this besides those kind of ingredients. Very mild, very gentle, easy around the eyes. This is great. Now, by itself, probably not going to take off your eye makeup, probably not going to take off, a lot of cosmetics. It's going to require more effort. So if you wear makeup and water-resistant sunscreen, you're probably going to need to use an oil cleanser or cleansing balm first. That's been my experience with it. but it is wonderful. Okay, and then last but not least is another Korean cleanser that I absolutely adore. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I really like gel cleansers. It's just like the texture of them. I find that they're kind of a nice in-between as far as the milky, creamy cleansers and the real foamy liquid cleansers. This is a HaruHaru Black Rice Moisture 5.5 Soft Cleansing Gel. And soft it is. I mean, the feel of it going on the skin is almost like you kind of are tricked for a moment to thinking, am I using a hydrating, moisturizing gel? But no, it does work up into a very light foam. It has glycerin, which is very hydrating, and it has beta-glucan, which is a wonderful humectant, along with trehalose, another humectant. It has a few botanic extracts like alpine lichen extract, Japanese pepper extract. These may impart anti-inflammatory benefits. They may also be working as preservatives in this. They're having, antimicrobial properties that help the formula overall. No fragrance in this, very mild, excellent, easy around the eyes. It's a little bit more of a workhorse in terms of removing debris and the like from the skin surface. I was not able to get off like my mascara with this alone. Again, needed to use an oil cleanser first, but that's usually the case for most cleansers. But otherwise, very, very good. Really enjoyed this. As a matter of fact, this whole brand, I've tried a lot of things from them that I have really adored. Like I just filmed, as a matter of fact, my Korean skincare favorites of 2023, and this brand's mineral sunscreen was definitely a favorite. All right, y'all, so those are the top 5 cleansers that I discovered in 2023. I think there are a variety of great options newer to me this year and that I will continue to recommend. I hope this video was helpful to you all. You really seem to be enjoying this best of 2023 series, and I do have all of these videos saved in a playlist called the best of 2023. So if you've missed any of them, definitely check out the playlist. But on the end slide, I'm going to link my recent Best of Korean Skincare 2023 video, so check that one out next. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.